Hello and welcome to Friday Night Live, Digital Marketing Club Friday Night Show. And then we have a special guest here tonight. Guess who? No other than Michael Suski himself. And then
Hey,
I
hey.
hope, Michael, I pronounce your name correctly.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's Michael
Okay.
Suski for sure.
Okay, so Michael Suski is here with tons of value, guys. And then tonight's session will be in English because Michael is not Nepalese, so we have to definitely make it easier for him. So whoever watching live, please comment live, and then whoever watches this recorded version, you can comment recorded after that. So Michael, welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me. That's really a big pleasure for me to share some knowledge bombs on the content optimization strategy and in general writing strategy as well for SEO. So hopefully you will get the value out of it. I'm really super excited about the whole live session. I really enjoy lives.
Yeah, so currently 20 people has already joined us in the live session. And then more people are joining, so the number keeps on going. So yeah, uh, okay, Michael, like people already know, and then a lot of member in this group are already using Surfer, and then they are following your content. They know you, but how you want to introduce yourself, the way the world does not know by reading your blogs.
Sure, sure, sure. So the first thing you want to know about me is that I'm not doing SEO for 10 years or 20 years. I'm not that experienced. So I started like 4 years ago doing SEO. So you can imagine that there's not a whole lot of time. And what's great about the whole SEO industry is that you don't have to be a dinosaur to
Mhm.
create some successful campaigns and so on, and that was actually the biggest trigger for me to join the SEO. So basically, you stay up to date, you test, you try many ways of doing SEO, you succeed, and really you don't have to have that much of an experience. So yeah, that's really great about the whole industry SEO. But how I started is basically I started as a PBN copywriter, so
Uh-huh.
pretty pretty common among SEOs. So yeah, you basically go with someone who asks you to do some simple things XYZ, like write me a content on 300 words about this or that, and that was really how I started doing SEO in a small agency in Poland. Um,
Mhm.
but since I started, it was like I really enjoyed that because of what I mentioned. It was so dynamic.
Mhm.
You didn't have to have that much of experience to be successful in it, and I started, like I said, as a writer. But shortly, I turned into client SEO, so I was facing clients, quite a lot of clients. At some point, I had like 30, maybe 40 clients on my head. So that was pretty big number. But since it was still being pretty successful for those clients, uh, it turned out that I'm really fitting some sort of management area in the agency. And after like a year and a half, or maybe after 2 years, I become a head of SEO of that agency. So
Mhm.
that was pretty fast.
Yeah.
Considering like different niches, like whatever niche you pick for your career, you won't be the head after a year or after 2 years. But in SEO, this is just possible because you test, you try those strategies, you build success for the clients, and then you basically prove yourself as the right person for the job. So really, it's not a big deal if you don't have that much of an experience in SEO. And probably you are curious how the Surfer started,
Mhm.
because this is actually what was the biggest like what had the biggest impact on my life in general. So
Mhm.
as I mentioned, the agency, small agency on a tiny village, you may be pretty familiar with that. Uh,
Mhm.
we didn't have people to hire on the market because that was like 300 people village with no
Oh,
big cities around, basically no people to hire, right? And we
yeah.
had to we had to scale up the agency, and we we need more people to carry on with our current processes, because we've been doing this on-page optimization by hand, reviewing all of the competitors, looking for like common elements, looking for like where they put their keywords and so on, and that was super time consuming. So we figured out, okay, if we cannot hire more people, why we can try improving our processes to automate the boring part. And the boring
Mhm.
part is obviously gathering the data and doing those simple analysis. So how long should I write? What's the structure? Where to put my keywords? And this is how like an internal tool that Surfer was at the beginning has started. So we basically started scaling up our work and the agency with um, automation. So the team was still small, but we could take on more clients thanks to having automations.
Yeah.
And at some point, like after another year of testing and proving it really works, we were like, okay, clients SEO is cool. We can deliver results, but we cannot scale up. It's not never ending. Like eventually you have to hire more people, but we still struggled with hiring people because there were no one literally on the market. So we decided, okay, let's start Surfer as a product and share it with the other agencies, share it with freelancers, share it with copywriters and so on, so they can actually do the job and we can keep on improving the product. So yeah, basically this is how it all started for our Surfer's journey. We had a product tested internally, it was working for us, so it will probably work for everyone literally. So that this is what happened. We decided to scale up as a tool instead of scaling up as the agency, and that was really a great decision for all of us, because we managed to reach a global market. Like now we are talking to each other with like really the audience that I wasn't even imagine that it like it exists, right? And
Mhm.
now we have like 20, 30, 40 people watching us, talking about the tool, like really covering the whole globe, which is insane. I still cannot believe it's happening. So pretty big thing for me. So that's a little bit of a background of me, and maybe you want to hear something uh, specific about whatever. Shoot me a question, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, that was amazing story. And then, okay, you really indeed scale faster. And then maybe some of our audience might have some questions about that part as well. So, okay, currently 57 people are watching us live, and then like people are tagging their friends. So definitely they love you.
Super
Okay.
happy to hear that.
Okay, so everyone who is watching right now, if you have any SEO friend who needs to watch this show, please tag them in the comments. And then please watch till the very end because we have tons of value for you tonight. So, and then we rarely invite guests here because Michael was special. So I thought he can bring more value to our community. So he's here sharing his knowledge bombs. Okay, so, Michael, let's now. There is one question in the audience, but okay, initially we'll cover a few topics, and
Hmm.
then at the end of the show, we'll have Q&A session where you can ask your question. But again, please be specific. Don't write everything, all the questions about the SEOs. Please be specific to the content, keyword cluster, and then I have already mentioned the topic in the description of this video. So please watch
Super.
it once, and then be very specific so that you can get more value.
Absolutely. So we have three topics to cover today. And the first one would be about preparing the content strategy for the next 6 months, 12 months, and so on. And
Mhm.
it will be about making it the automated way with the biggest use of Google algorithm itself. So I will show you our most recent tool called Content Planner, because people are already testing it quite heavily, and there are quite a lot of questions about it from the community. So you will be probably having similar questions. So I'm happy to answer those within this short presentation on planning your content strategy. Um, but I have some bombs for you, especially because the content planner is getting an update in the next couple of days, and
Mhm.
I will be sharing the updated version with you. So that's something I haven't shared yet. So I hope it will be something cool for you. So let me maybe share my screen. I will just find it here. Okay, got it. And you probably see my screen already.
We have to edit to stream, so I'm doing that right now.
Hmm. Oh yes, got it, got it. I Okay, so I have two screens and I see what you see, so that's awesome.
Okay.
StreamYard is really a great streaming platform. Definitely enjoy those. Guys, before we dive in, I just wanted to ask you for a favor, obviously, a little bit of a self promotion at the beginning, because we are running a campaign on the product hunt from today, uh, sharing the content editor 2.0, which I will cover in the next topic. So if you could just go there and maybe vote if you like it, that will be really awesome and help the whole community to get know to the content editor 2.0. That would be just great. You will find it on product hunt on the homepage. But yeah, that's it. That's the only pitch I have for today. So uh let's take the content planner. So what is this? What do you see on the screen and what it can do for you in just 1 minute? So the content planner is a tool that not only does the research for you, but it also creates topic clusters. And let's spend a while on those topic clusters, and I will just tell you why it is so important to use clusters within your strategy. So Google is creating clusters of keywords by themselves, and how they do that? They basically rank the same keywords for like similar URLs for the same URLs in the search result. So you have a blog post that is ranking for 20 keywords, and this is its cluster. You have different URL, different article. It ranks for 100 keywords, and that's another cluster. And the thing is that if you want to avoid cannibalization, you have to target the right clusters with the right articles. And this way, you build expertise for the whole domain. Because if we want to rank for the best running shoes, it's not enough to write perfectly optimized article. Even though using Surfer, it won't be enough. If you want to rank for best running shoes, you have to build expertise for your domain. You have to cover more topics, more smaller topics, more supportive topics for that general topic to build enough credibility in Google's eyes to do proper internal linking strategy, and only then you can tackle those big, really those strong competitive keywords. And what the content planner does is basically telling you which topics you have to cover to build that expertise for your domain. So as you can see here, it pulled over 100 clusters for this topic. And it means that if you want to rank for best running shoes, you also want to cover as many of these topics as possible. And from every single article, you link back to the money page that is targeting the best running shoes. And only this way you can get through this like, because you have to have a lot of credibility for your domain to tackle big keywords, and only with writing enough supportive content to this big keyword, only then you can start ranking for those really money making keywords. And I mentioned that it is a content strategy for next year. Indeed, it is, because creating 128 articles will take some time, right? So, all of these clusters, every single cluster is a separate article of keywords gathered together automatically, and not only automatically because they have similar terms within the keyword. Not like that. It's using Google algorithm to, like, we basically ask Google what are the topics that those competitors cover, and when we obtain that list, we also know uh, which topics are the closest to the topic that we started with. So the best running shoes. The first closest topic is Adidas running shoe reviews. So it's the first topic to cover to strengthen your credibility for the best running shoes. Then we have some running shoes for women. Then we have some ultra running shoes, trial running shoes, on running shoes, running shoes for neutral. I think it's something related to feet. Then we have some stability running shoes for men, for women, and specifically trail running shoes, running gear, bestsellers, lightweight running shoes. So as you can see here, all of these topics seem to be really related to the head keyword best running shoes. And the lower we go with this list, we are getting a bit more far away from the from the main topic. So basically, this list is already ordered uh, for you. So you basically started with the first one, and then the second one, and then the third, up to 128th topic, and that's the plan. If you target best running shoes, your goal is to complete as many of those articles as possible. And we use for this clustering some scientific methods, like basically borrowed from the science, and it's using some Python clustering algorithms. You don't have to know that, but basically there's quite a lot of mathematics behind the scenes going on, and I will just show you that it's going really fast, because I will just create some random query right now. Maybe this best tennis rockets, right? And let's see how fast it will go. And I'm telling you, it won't take more than the minute, unless the developers didn't break the staging in the meantime. I don't know, but in general, it the new way of doing it, like you see here, it can take up to an hour. And this is something I'm showing you now, is that we changed that during the first week of applying tweaks to it, because we released that like a week ago or so, like during the Black Friday time. But in how much times passed, like almost 2 weeks. Okay, so in like less than 2 weeks we managed to apply. You see how fast it is? It's not an hour, is like, so far it wasn't more than a minute. And believe me, it's that fast. So imagine gathering the list of keywords manually,
Mhm.
reviewing competitors, then imagine connecting the dots. So should I rank this keyword with this keyword, or I should split them into separate article? You don't know it, but we know it, and the mathematics that is behind it, and the Google algorithms input that we take to this equation does that for you. And it's super fast. So right now we are probably processing thousands of keywords to tell you which ones you should tackle within the same article, and which ones should be most likely separate topics to cover and create, like two different articles, three different articles, or maybe 128 different articles. We don't know. So for the best tennis rackets, it's done. Was it a minute? Maybe that was 2 minutes. Okay, but 115 clusters for the best tennis rackets. And this is basically a whole website plan that will do the affiliate for tennis rackets. That's simple. All of those topics are separate articles. You see 26-inch rackets, Wilson clutch rackets, Babolat tennis rackets, head tennis rackets, best tennis bags, and the lower we go, we are kind of like tennis balls, machines even. So it's all about the training with tennis. It's all about any kind of gear that you want to describe within your domain to be an expert in tennis. And that's not the end, because as you can see here, maybe you noticed that there is also a user intent above every single cluster. So we have 4 basic user intents, right? We have local, and obviously local is not a part of best tennis rackets. We
Yeah.
have customer investigation, which is most likely like a listicle or a review, or like best tennis rackets, best 10 rackets to for the beginners, and so on. So this is clearly affiliate intent, where you put your Amazon links on the page. We also have informational content, so guides and sort of uh, again, building the expertise through sharing knowledge. So that's informational. So probably not so many affiliate links within those articles, but rather to build expertise and to prove that you are really the guy who knows the tennis industry. And then we have shopping, and shopping are the keywords that you don't want to tackle within your affiliate blog, because these guys are dedicated to e-commerce. So people, while typing Yonex Rackets Tennis or this Babolat Boost Strike, they are most likely looking for e-commerce. And how do we know that? Because every single keyword that is clustered in here is also analyzed. So we take the search results for every single keyword, then we apply the BERT algorithm. So yeah, it's like a custom BERT algorithm for that purpose, trained specifically to recognize user intent. And thanks to that, we know that if you are a blog, you don't target shopping intent, because in search results there are rather e-commerce sites, so you cannot be ranking if you are provide affiliate review. Okay, so it's super helpful to determine which clusters you target with the blog and which clusters are dedicated to be ranked as the e-commerce, like category description or product page. So you can narrow down this list to allocate some keywords for ecom. Okay, imagine you are an ecom site, right? And you have some clusters for the products, for categories, and you have some clusters for the blog. So you can run a blog for ecom to build the expertise. Plus, you can optimize your category pages using the list of keywords that rather category page or the product page should be ranking on these classes. So this is super helpful to target the right keywords with the right type of content. Okay. And well, I just wanted to show you a couple more things, because that's not the end about those guys. So let's
Okay.
focus on those affiliate stuff maybe. Best beginner tennis racket. This is the second most important topic to cover. I will just click on it. I will see, okay, this is the cluster, this is the search volume, this is the traffic I can probably get from these guys. And those are the keywords that are within that cluster. And what I can do, I will just turn on the NLP. I can create the content editor that will cover not only the best beginner tennis racket, it will cover all of those keywords. So we will process every single keyword from that cluster. As you can see, they are being loaded here. We check their search results. Then we create a custom ladder board of competitors that will put on top those competitors who perform the best among the whole set of those keywords. So not only a single keyword ranker, but the page that is performing the best for this keyword, that keyword, that keyword, and basically all of those keywords. And this way you get guidelines that allow you to rank for a whole cluster, and guidelines that will cover topics you should cover within that cluster to acquire every single keyword from that list, or at least be the best optimized for all of those keywords as possible. So this is pretty important, comparing to like single keyword optimization versus multi keyword optimization, because you always want to be more than just a single keyword. So I just created that content editor, and I will move to the creation because that's that's the second topic of today's webinar. But maybe we have any questions about this clustering specifically. You can bring it up now. I will just take a sip of coffee.
Sure. I'm going through the comments. So one question: search volume is based on a specific location or a whole world?
Yes, it is based on a US location, as
Mhm.
you can see the flag in here. So it tells you that I analyze it for the US market, and I fetch the search results that rank in the US. So it's all dedicated to that market. That's one thing. And the other thing you probably want to know, where does this search volume come from? And it comes from the database that we have, and the database relies on the keyword planer data. I know it's not the most accurate on the planet, but
Mhm.
it will be enough to tell you whether a keyword is a big search volume, medium search volume, or small search volume. That's pretty much enough to decide which clusters you want to tackle for your domain.
Okay, so and then there is another question, but I think you have already answered that. So these are basically the blog topics, right? If I understood correctly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so customer investigation, this is a blog post that
mhm.
also sells the products. So all of those listings with pros and cons of this racket, that racket, and so on. So this is the type of content, customer investigation. And informational is another type that will also uh, be about blog posts. So yeah, you see, that's the difference. Here we are generally speaking what are the types of rockets. Here we say what are like string tennis types of strings and so on. So this is like a topic more informational, not a sales topic, right? You won't make sales through this, but you will build topical relevancy for the domain. So those guys, informational, will be good for like if we have e-com store selling rockets. Those topics will be great for e-com blog, like how to choose 10x rocket. What's the technology? How to gouge those strings? What are the parts of rockets? And so on. As you can see, all of those guys, like tennis grip size, okay, all of those are informational. You won't sell any grips through that topic, but you will get people reading about you being an expert on a tennis grip sizes. So from there, you can take those guys and convert them later in the funnel. So those are clearly informational blog posts. Shopping will be either category page or product page. It depends on what's your strategy. While the local, we are not seeing any local in here because it's not a local topic. But if I will choose something else, for example, I have like, okay, it's like, it's in Polish, but it doesn't really matter. It's about keys. So if you lose a key, they will create a new key for you. So that's the keyword, right? And I have quite a lot of local in here because I have just specific locations. So people who will do the job in Warsaw, people who will do the job in Radom, people who will do the job in some districts of Warsaw, and so on. And in Katowice, so that's a city, that's a district, and so on. So this way, you get the topics for service pages for your local business. So if you have a service like plumbing, you can take content planner, hit the city like, for example, Los Angeles, okay, and I will type plumbing services, and I expect seeing quite a lot of local intent results in here. Probably there will be some informational, like how to fix running toilet, for example, but we will also see some uh, location specific landing pages, location specific clusters like plumbing services in here, plumbing services in there, plumbing services near me, plumbing services 24-hour and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's worth waiting just a couple more seconds to just see what will pop up. And directly from here, I will move to the second topic we have, which will be writing the content itself using the content editor, because that's actually the you can waste a lot of time on writing content that won't be covering those relevant words and phrases within your article, and you can create super creative valuable content for people, but you won't have a chance to uh, test it on a real audience just because it's not aligned with Google current demand. So it's the matter of combining being creative and
Hmm.
being like attached to the data, so Google can actually categorize your answer properly, so that's the best answer on the web, and then people will verify you, so Google will verify you with the people that will be going through organic search results. So plumbing services, let's give it a shot. How many local? 67 out of 89 are local.
Hmm.
Let's see what are the informational stuff. I'm kind of curious. Okay, so we have this 24 hours, we have commercial plumbers, plumbing services, gas shut, valve, earthquake. What the hell is that? I don't know. Yeah, so you have some methods, you have some like trenches repair, so something like a running toilet topic I mentioned. So in general, like, yeah, descaling cast iron pipes, definitely informational topic. And if you like sink repairs, if you are a plumber, you probably want to cover those topics as well to become an expert in plumbing industry. So when someone is looking for a solution on a specific problem, you provide the value, and then they will most likely come back to you when something is not fixable on their own, because they know that you can provide value on the topic, so probably you know how to do the job as well. So that's how you can build expertise for those smaller local services, basically covering those common topics that the best competitors cover as well, so you can be at least aligned with their content quality. So that's about the planner. I don't want to spend the whole webinar in here, but I could. Obviously,
Okay.
I could spend years in here.
Sure. Okay. So before moving to the next topic, I just want to take a few questions here, Michael.
Go ahead.
So, what long should be blog articles? How to determine? So I think we're going to cover after SCRP
Mhm.
analyzer. So we're going to cover that later. And then there is another question. Can we get ideas for affiliate marketing based content making from this feature as well as e-commerce based content also?
Any kind
So
of content. So that's intent is telling you which
mhm,
topics you should cover within the ecom business and which topic you should cover within the affiliate business. But in general, you always know the seed keyword, the starting keyword. That's the main topic, like uh, best video cameras. When you are like photographers affiliate, then you just put best best cameras, and you will get all of those subtopics that you will need to cover within your, maybe not need, but that will be great to cover to build this expertise. This is the most important, because when you start writing about random stuff on your website, you lose credibility. You always want to be within the circle of topics that are within your niche, and before moving to another niche, you have to provide comprehensive information about plumbing services, video cameras, like GoPro cameras, like action cameras, and stuff like that. So before moving to something else, cover completely or as much as you can the industry that you started with, and only this way you will be able to gain that credibility that is associated with the crawl budget that you get from Google, and then you can expand to other niches. So before, like, tackling casino, betting, and then plumbing, you want to write everything about the casino, then everything about the betting, and then everything about the plumbing, and only then you can move to any other topic. But in general, I would recommend you keeping your sites dedicated to specific topics. So do not create like multi-topics websites, because it's super hard to maintain them and keep this like value to every single article you have. So be niche specific, and basically this list in the content planner will be the plan for the next year or half a year, depending on your writing speed and outsourcing speed. It's everything you have to do to be the most comprehensive about the tennis rackets. And the question about the length will be covered right now, because as you can see, I created the content editor. Here is its progress. Is the content score here. I just didn't started writing about it yet, so it's 0 obviously. And from here I can go to this content editor, and now we will start real writing. So this is the content editor. Most of you is probably familiar with it, so I will just go briefly through that topic. So basically, you write here your content, you get recommendations on the right hand side. So here are all the keywords that you have to include, and here are stats of this article. So your current score, it is 2 points, because I have almost nothing. uh, I have 8 words of content, which is definitely not enough, because the range of content length, so that's the question answered, is slightly over 4,000. This is pretty long article, huh? But in general, you have to fit within that range to answer the topic, to answer the question in the most comprehensive way. And that length comes from the best ranking competitors for this particular keyword, and not only this keyword, but all the keywords that we took into the comparison. So remember me creating a content editor for the whole cluster. So it's not just about the best beginner tennis rackets, but also about those smaller keywords that are associated with it. And we actually need pretty long article with like at least 30 headings, with some paragraphs and images displaying probably some different rackets, right? And besides of the keywords that you need to include, you also have some keywords suggested to use within the headings. So they will turn green if I will use them. So I will just change this H1 to best tennis rackets for beginners. And I hit 2 keywords within this single heading. So basically my score jumped quite a lot, from 2 points to 16 points, just by creating a proper H1. And this is basically all you need to know. You write the content in here, you inspire yourself with those guys on the right hand side. If you don't know how to use Wilson Hyper Hammer, you can click on it and you will get the examples of how your competitors use this particular keyword. So basically, it will help you find out what's the context of using that keyword. So it really speeds up the research. If you don't know what is that, you can click, you can see, okay, it is about like this particular model of a racket. Now I know it's a model from Wilson and it's oversized. Yeah, that's kind of important information uh, for me as a writer to create a description of this Wilson Hyper Hammer that will be like aligned with what experts are currently saying within their articles that are performing the best for those keywords. So basically, it's reverse engineering of their content with guidelines that help you write the content. And I can basically start writing in
Okay.
here, and they will be counted, so I get the feedback right away. And let's take content from one of those pages that are ranking. So I will just open customization panel, and I will take content maybe from this page to pretend that I just written it. I'll just copy that and paste on the content editor. Yeah, it takes a while, but okay. I think that's the end of the article. And I put it here. I will just replace my content. And as you can see, its score is low because first, it is too short, it has not enough headings, and it's not really optimized because just a couple of those keywords are green. So if I was about to rework that content, I would try to include those red terms within new paragraphs, new headings, new uh, content structure elements. So they become all green, and only this way you can create content that touches all of these topics, all of those keywords that Google is expecting to see in an article that will be the best answer for the question, what is the best beginner's tennis racket? Okay. And besides of the terms, we also have the topics. So here are the questions. Quite a lot of questions to cover, right? And they come from Google. They come from people also ask. So it's really a good idea to take them from here. And when you start writing content, let's delete it, put them here, and probably answer those who you like the most. So what is a good tennis racket for the beginner? And type an answer. What size tennis racket should I use? For beginners, the best size of a tennis racket is X, right? And how do I know what tennis racket is right for me? If you are a big guy, use bigger racket. But if you are a woman that weighs like 50 kilograms, you should probably consider smaller racket. So I'm not a tennis player, but this is how I can imagine writing content about that. So answering those questions, that will be my guess on how I can help people decide which racket is the best for them. And when you answer those questions, you are not only building expertise, but you are also targeting questions that people ask about beginners tennis rackets. So this way you will be able to create content that will be ranking not only for those keywords but also for those questions, because those are people also ask questions, and people also ask questions. When you click on a question, you will get an answer from Google, so you are able to rank as an answer to the every single particular question that we display in here. So I would consider making them like a smaller headings, maybe H3s, maybe put an like FAQ and make it H2, right? And then answer this one, then answer this one, then this one, then this one, and as many of those questions as you can. So this way, you are basically the best encyclopedia of beginners tennis rackets. So this is how you create it. You help yourself with these terms. You want to include them. You help yourself with those headings. You help yourself with NLP entities, which are the words and phrases that come directly from the Google NLP API, and Google is definitely looking forward to see those NLP entities within your content to understand it, to understand that it is about really beginners tennis rackets. So this is super helpful for the writer because you don't have to do the research that much. You just see those keywords. You see, okay, it will be about some models. It will be about tennis players. It will be about different sizes, about, well, whatever you find in here, and you want to cover these topics. And I'm telling you that writing content without it is really a bad idea because you will just waste a lot of time. Uh, because when you write the content without the guidelines and then you check what's wrong with it, why is it not ranking, you discover that you end up with something that I just pasted from here. I will just copy and paste it again to show you better. Let's get rid of that and put the content in there. So you just wrote over 1000 words long article, and it turns out that is missing the point. You see that is wrong, is not comprehensive, is not touching so many topics and still ranking in the top 10. So what will happen when I will just create the right type of content using the domain that already has the credibility to rank for this keyword? It will be well, it's not a magic, it's proven strategy. So basically you will rank up. You will rank up basically because if you already have expertise, if you already have some kind of credibility from Google to rank for keyword and have such not so well optimized content, then it will be a game changer for that page rankings if you turn it all green. I'm telling you, it's based on many studies. You can even read about it on Surfer's SEO blog, because we recently put some studies in here. Like for example, this one is for small ecom. This one for Get Response, big brand. They basically rewrite the content for a keyword Pinterest, big keyword. They included those NLP entities, and this is what they achieved. Like 150 new keywords, and this article was well established already. It was ranking in the top 10 for the head terms, but it just gained over 100 new keywords, and like almost all the keywords improved rankings. Like 90% of the keywords it was ranking for improved, and extra 100 keywords ranked out of nowhere. So basically, even if you have an article that is already performing pretty well somewhere in the top 10, you still can rewrite it using the content editor to get the best out of it, like with the lowest effort. So, well, that's about the writing, and I will just share some notes about the actual process, because you don't have to write within Surfer's content editor. You can also write within Google Docs. Whoops. Yeah, I didn't put my phone into a flight mode, so probably I will receive more text messages during the webinar. But in general, that's the Google Docs. I can turn on the Chrome extension. Oh, you know what? It won't work because I'm on staging server, so I'll just move to production. Sorry for that. 1 sec. I'll just show you because it's super important. That's a Polish keyword, but it doesn't really matter. I will just create new Google Docs from here because I was showing you something that, oops. Yeah, I was showing you something that, like the content planner, that is not on production yet. So that was like a new version. So as you can see, you can use Google Docs and write content and collaborate with people. You can share this with anyone, and anyone that has Surface Chrome extension that is free to install, you can outsource the content this way and throw those Google Docs at your writers and collaborate with them, do the revisions, comments, and so on, and it will be still all backed up with the data. So this is super, super, super helpful. And not only you can use the Google Docs, but imagine having it within your WordPress site where you already have an article published, when the article is already ranking and you don't want to copy and paste the content and rewrite it in Google Docs. You can have it in WordPress with the same Chrome extension. The Chrome extension is here. I'll just show you because yeah, it's not so easy to find. It's features and content editor extension, and you can, like here, basically have it within your WordPress without installing any plugins. So it can be client's website that you don't have access to the server, and you have only editorial access. You can plug it in without installing any plugins because it's just a Chrome extension. So it will be a pretty convenient way to optimize existing articles. And as we are on a topic of existing articles, that's the last topic we want to cover today. And I will tell you how to find pages that are the best candidates for improving its rankings. So maybe we have some questions regarding the editor. I will take a sip of
Yeah,
water.
a few regarding the clusters, and then obviously regarding the editor.
Do
So,
you want
okay,
to leave them for the end, or
how you prefer that? If you want, we can do all the Q&A at the end of the show.
I prefer one question now because I just need to recover my voice.
All right, sure. So yeah, here's one question. He says, won't there be any keyword cannibalization issue if we write content on all the cluster topics? As all the topics are somehow related to the main topic. What are the things we need to consider to avoid keyword cannibalization?
All the clusters created by the content planner are already preventing cannibalization because each keyword is assigned just to a single cluster. So there are no overlapping keywords between the clusters. So you won't rank for a keyword that is assigned to a cluster A with a cluster B. And how do we know that? Because this is how your best competitors are ranking those keywords. If they have a separate article for keyword A and keyword B, we will suggest you the clusters that will also have them separated. And if they can rank this way for those keywords, you can do as well. So it will definitely prevent cannibalization. And yeah, basically, it prevents cannibalization doing it via content planner.
Okay. And then here is one question. How to write EAT friendly content?
EAT friendly content, well, that's kind of mysterious stuff, but yeah. So EAT, I would consider as being a recognizable author, let's say, because for specifically for some niches that are like YM, YL niches, like the finance niches, health niches, and stuff like that, you don't want to be a random admin. You don't
Yeah.
want to be a random website throwing information about best like short notice credit loans and stuff like that. You can't do it because Google don't want random people to advise in these niches. And the hack I will sell you right now how to build that credibility is to verify Google My Business, even for the affiliate website. You can do this. You can outsource it even, and just try to at least pretend that you are a real business. And affiliate site can be a company, right? And affiliate site can have a GMB profile. And Google really loves when you use their assets. So it will give you instantly a lot of credibility, a lot of trust, because it's super strong trust signal to have a GMB associated with the website and verified. So if you want to create, like creating EAT friendly content is not really about the content itself. It's about the website, it's about the surrounding elements of the content, because content can be valuable, it can be not valuable, it can be like true or it can be wrong. But the thing about the EAT is that you want to be trusted source. No matter what kind of content you provide, you want to be trusted source of information, and that trust you can build via, for example, this GNB, via having Google News site verified. Those two signals will be super strong, super important, and the GMB is pretty easy. You want to build some citations from those aggregators, from the local listings and stuff like that, because you want to pretend you are a real business even if you aren't. That's, yeah, I know it's kind of black hat, but it will be a great boost for your credibility to verify that GMB, ideally get the news site verified in Google, and it will be a huge boost for your basically EAT. It will be a strong signal.
Okay.
And I want to just add one more sentence to this. Sorry for taking it so long, but this is pretty important. Uh, Changing uh, post author from admin to random name won't help you survive EAT. It doesn't work this way. So, like having a random name that you signed the article instead of being a WordPress admin, it doesn't help. You have to do more. You have to be credible. So that's what I wanted to add.
Okay, sure. So we still have a lot of questions, but okay, to the audience, we are currently 44 people are watching live, and then we still have one topic covered to be left. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue the topic, and then we'll come back to all the questions in
Mhm.
Q&A.
So I will do that quick, and I even won't show too much of a surfer now, because I
Okay.
want you to pick those low hanging fruits that you have available all the time. Um, the only tool you need for that is your Google Search Console. So basically, log into Search Console, find pages that perform around position 6, 7, 8, up to position 30, 40, because those pages already have credibility from Google given. They already deserve rankings, but they are missing something. They are missing, most likely, the data driven on page optimization. So, with that in place, you just find the list of those pages that you rank for already, but not there yet. And export that list, export the keywords associated with those pages, pick those most important terms for every single page, and basically rewrite them using the content editor or run a quick audit using the SERP analyzer. And this is the way to go with doing like if you don't want to write more content because you already have 100 articles that doesn't drive too much traffic for you, there's no point in writing another 100. It's a good idea to rewrite your existing articles so they match current requirements, because like requirements change, results fluctuate. We had like December's core update, we had the bird update, we had the update in May. So like every couple of months, Google wants something else and they shift the search results. So, most likely, your articles will be outdated, even if you wrote them with Surfer and that like 6 months ago, and they are not performing in a top 10. You may had passed some sort of Google algorithm change that shifted the search results, and for example, the user intent of that query changed. This is something I've been working on recently regarding this user intent recognition, because we analyzed like 37,000 keywords in a few spots in time, and we checked how user intent is changing among those queries. And uh, around 10% of the keywords changed dominating search intent. So they changed, for example, from top 10 being full of e-com sites, now they are blogs. And if you lost some rankings with the e-com, it's a good idea to check if you are still aligned with what's currently required. And this way, those kind of fluctuations will force you to be always up to date with the current situation in SERP. So not only write content and optimize content once, be work on a regular cadence. So let's imagine a situation: you have a site has 10 articles, and those 10 articles, like 5 are super important for you, making you money, and the other 5 are like less important, you don't take care of them too much. That will be just a simple example. So what you want to do is that for those 5 articles that make you money, you want to run audits every month or every 2 months, and ideally include all of those terms that pop up in that audit to stay up to date, to stay aligned with current competitors in the top 10, because this way you will be able to keep your page always answering every single question that someone can have. Like, for example, you had noise canceling headphones review, and now we have new headphones, Sony MX4, right? They are just brand new. and you don't cover this topic because, well, you didn't do the audit on a regular cadence. And if you did so, you will find out that there are pages in the top 10 that cover this new headphones model, and you want to always be up to date with what's currently in the top. And this way, those 5 pages will get the most of your attention, and the other 5 pages that are less important to your business will be audited every 6 months, for example. So you want to create, with that example, I just want you to start thinking about creating prioritized list of articles, of pages, basically URLs, that you take care of, and like put on the top those guys who are the most important to you, and put at the bottom those guys who are the least important to you, and run audits on regular cadence. So those guys that are the most important, run it every month. Those guys that are slightly less important, every 2 months. Those guys that are really low value for you, do it even once a year. Will be kind of good idea, but don't let them sink in your page structure. Revisit them, recheck them, uh, and being regular with that will allow you to keep every single piece of content fresh, and it will be much cheaper for you to curate those articles, being always up to date, always answering all of the questions, always covering the topic fully, instead of writing another 100 articles that will also sync in your website, and they will also require more regular checks. So consider, before you start writing new content, consider if you don't have any other like if you don't have any existing articles that can be fixed by just a simple audit. And if you could change my screen to the screen share, I will just quickly show the audit, because this is the place that will help you. Thank you so much. This is the place that will help you find out what's going on with your content. So basically, the SERP analyzer, I would just pick a random keyword, maybe sustainable vegetable gardening, because I have it analyzed already. And let's see. So this is the search results. SERP Analyzer is full of data, and I will tell you that you don't need it at the very beginning. This is not something that you want to start the analysis with. We have to rebuild it. So the audit is on top. But I just wanted to know, so you are not overwhelmed and not scared with that chart. What the hell is that? Some indicators, correlations. That's for later. Okay. If you are more experienced, you can try to use it. But at the very beginning, you want to run an audit. So you basically put your URL here. I can put Surfer SEO, but we are definitely not about this sustainable vegetable gardening. So our content score will be really low, but basically you put your URL here and click the audit on the right hand side. It will be full of errors and the true density is empty. That's obvious, that's natural, that's what I expect. But let's say you are this guy. Okay, position 17. Great moment to tackle. Great moment to try optimization, because our content score is low, 44. Quite a lot of room for improvement. And let's say I wrote this article 2 months ago. It settled down on a position 17, and now it's time to recheck it. So I just click the audit button, and I dive into the true density, which is the list you recall from the content editor. That's basically the same list. And you see, okay, I'm missing this, that. So many keywords I'm missing. So basically, I'm going from the top to the bottom of this list, including as many missing terms as possible. So how they can be ranking on the position 17 for that keyword without that keyword? But they do. So it will have a huge impact just by adding those top terms. The list is pretty long, because all the terms is really over 200 terms, and as you can see, it's almost entirely red. There are some greens, okay, but in general it's red. So it will have a huge impact on this page's rankings. And if you could just allocate 15 minutes of your time per URL once a month to run the audit to see if there is nothing else to include within the content, that will be just a great source of sustainable traffic source, because you always be up to date, you always be complete and comprehensive and fresh. And this combination of factors will be like, it will be a game changer for your website traffic, I'm sure. But what's important? To be ranking already. That's important. If you do so somewhere in the top 50, even if you are somewhere in the top 50, it means you can be higher because Google already gave you some credibility. But as these guys, they are missing most important terms of this topic, including exact keyword. So it will be super easy for them to get higher positions just by fixing those issues. So this is the process of optimizing existing articles and finding them in Search Console. I just wanted to highlight it because obviously we could spend 2 hours on following every single step of that process, but I just want you to think about it. So yeah, just highlight and think about it. It will do the job for you as it does the job for like 4,000 users of Surfer already. And the thing is just to be regular and be like, yeah, just do it on a regular cadence. It's called progressive content optimization, and that's the way to go. So yeah, that's it from me.
All right. Okay. Thank you for covering these topics. And then, okay, now it's time for Q&A. Like, we have already passed 1 hour, but yeah, I don't know, time flies when you are
Yeah,
listening. Great.
I'm sorry. I'm
Okay, no,
I'm I talk too much.
but it's okay because like you are not giving seat like a politician do. You are giving value. So yeah, it's still we have 40 people live listening to us, and then okay, they have lots of questions for us. So okay, I think
Bring
we're
them
gonna.
on. I'm ready.
Okay. So, all right. Let me start with this one. Okay, so here's something about rich snippet. Will it be relevant for this? Let's go. If we
uh,
rank a page for
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, if we rank a page for multiple Q&A keywords in a rich snippet, it will definitely decrease the page CTR. Will it affect the ranking of our main keywords?
Low CTR can affect rankings. I mean, it's behavioral signal. So if, but um, well, but there is a difference between low CTR being on position second or third or fifth than low CTR on the featured snippet, because Google already know that feature snippet has lower CTR. And even though you will see the drop in the CTR because you just reached the feature snippet, it doesn't mean it will drag you down, because it's pretty common pattern that pages in the featured snippet get lower CTR just because they most likely answer the question without visiting the website. And this is actually something about Google stealing your content.
Yeah. Okay. Another question. Can we get insight how we use Google Search Console performance data with Surfer?
So Google Search Console is not integrated with Surfer, but I will use the word yet. So that will be a great addition. So we can actually tell you where to do an audit automatically. That's kind
Mhm.
of, I would love to have it. And it's somewhere on the roadmap. I don't know at what point, but like I wish it was closer. It's not that close, but we definitely think about it seriously. So for now, what you want to do is that you want to visit your Search Console, export, like sort those keywords that you rank for by their position, and export that list of keywords and URLs that you are ranking above the top 50, and they will be the candidates for audits. That's the
Okay.
process.
Okay, so here's one question. Does no index to author page help to boost EAT of affiliate website?
If the author page is a thin content, and most likely it will be just a listing of articles, you want to get rid of it completely. I mean, instead of no indexing the author page, I would consider removing the author page and 301 to some sort of relevant page, or even 404. It's better than having a thin content that gets scrolled and gives no value. So if you want to have an author page, it will be rather a proper author page with a photo, a bio, and life history, and anything that can really help build the credibility, like a some social signals, social media profiles, and so on, like YouTube channel, and things like that can help. Um, but in general, if you plan to no index author page, you better get rid of it completely.
Okay. Okay, here's another question about the content. What's about duplicate content? Does it really exist or it's a myth?
If you are big enough, you can have duplicate content, but yeah, I would avoid duplicate content. It's nothing good. It definitely won't help you. Will it drag you down? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. So as I said, if you are a big domain, you can afford on having a duplicate content. But if you are fresh site, and well, we have to differentiate duplicate content within your domain and just the copycat content from the other guys. So the copycat content is kind of allowed in ecom, because all of the e-commerce get those product descriptions from the catalogs, from the factories, and this is kind of common pattern. And well, Google already have to handle it because everyone is doing this. Obviously original content is better, but in some niches this kind of copycat content won't drag you down, because if everyone is doing this, then Google cannot penalize you, because this way they had to penalize everyone, so no one to display in the search results. But in general, duplicate content within your own domain is more dangerous, and I would try to avoid it. Yeah.
Okay. So on one more question about the cluster. If we write content on all cluster of a topic, is there any specific interlinking structure that we need to follow to boost the ranking of the main topic?
Mhm.
Like picking from exact matching anchor, LSI keywords, number of interlinks, internal link from first paragraph, or any other.
Okay. Don't stuff too many internal links in the content. Make sure that the page that you want to boost has the biggest amount of internal links pointing to it. You will find this report in the search console. So those most important pages have to be on the top of that list, top internally linked pages. You will find that report in the search console. And if you cannot find it, Matthew Woodward explained that well. So you can find it on the web definitely. Um, but when it comes to the keywords used, I prefer exact matching anchors for internal links. I've never been penalized for using too many internal links as exact matches, but you can obviously differentiate it by a bit by some LSI and some like long form anchors, including exact. So it will be like long form partial anchor. But what you definitely have to avoid is using the same anchor for two different pages. This is the biggest problem. And if you don't do this and use those LSIs and exacts, you are on the way to go to the top. Yeah, that's it basically. Be consistent, and you'll be home. And don't put like every single article, like if you have 100 articles, don't internally link to 99 other articles from the one. Like, take those that are the most relevant, giving some value, like 5, 10 internal links. That will be a good amount. If 20 will make sense, do 20, but don't go like mad on this.
Okay. So yeah, people are already using Surfer here in Nepal, and then they have a question: why is Nepal not in the list? How do you decide on a country you add to the tool? Do you think we will be able to see Nepal
Of
on the
of
list?
course, of course. It's just a matter of asking about it on the chat, but you don't have to. Obviously, I will ask by myself if they can add it, and we can also add some cities. So, guys, maybe you will ask via email. Can you gather those locations that your audience will like? Just shot them in the comments. Type them in the comments. What kind of cities you want to have? If you want to have English language first, because some countries also have searches in the native language plus in the English language, so we can have like uh, Nepal in your native language, and we can have Nepal in English. So if that's the case, definitely we can add it. So shut those locations in the comments, and I will gather them and add them all to the tool.
Okay, sure. So, like, here's the your chance. So, whichever city is in the Nepal that you want to see in the Surfer, please comment that, and then I will gather them, and then I will send it to Michael, so his team, his engineering team, can look into that.
Yeah, we will just add them right away.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good news for you. Okay, and here's another question. So, what are some of your recommendation optimizing the content of e-commerce category page? There are some pages with just product list, while some have product list plus description. Will we change the intent of the category page if we add too much content?
Yeah, it can cause some damage, but
No.
check the competition. Basically, if there are competitors in the top 10 having a lot of content on the category page, and they are in the top 10, it's most likely helping them. So we can copy them and also have 1,000 keywords. I mean words on the category description. Just the only thing you have to keep in mind is that it cannot be the most prominent place on the website, right? It has to be like, it can be a lead to the description, and then products, and then at the bottom you have this massive SEO content. That's, yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but it works. So you can do it. You can even hide it. You can use like FAQ section with accordion menu, so they can click on the questions, and then boom, 3 paragraphs of content with some subheadings, right? So it will be visible to Google, not so visible to the users. It's kind of shady, but allowed.
Okay. Yeah, I have seen a lot of category pages like ecom using description below the product list.
Definitely
And
do this. It's a big factor.
yeah. So do this. Uh, Another question, we have content on our main website, and if we paste some part of the content and same image with different suggest keyword as alt tag in Google site GMB, is this Google track as duplicate and does not affect our SEO work? So like basically using the part of the content from a website to as a create as a post as a GMB.
Um, I didn't test it, but it shouldn't be affecting it negatively. The more signals you share between the Google My Business and the website will be beneficial, because it will create a strong joint between GMB and the website itself. So it's like, if it's like a lead to an article, definitely you can use it as a post and click the read more, and the whole article is here on the website. That's good idea. You can, and I will sell you the tip now. You can also write posts for your GMB or your GMB description in Surface Content Editor, and that's tested in the agency. I sit in this agency's office now, so I'm telling you that these guys are really doing the job, and they do this, and their GMBs run better. So you can optimize your posts, and you can optimize your GMB description for the keyword you want to rank for. It helps a lot.
Okay. So yeah, I have already getting a list of cities from Nepal, so I will send that to you later.
Right.
Here's another question. Does reference text link in infographic provide authority to website?
Um, so do you mean the situation where the infographic is shared somewhere and the owner is mentioned, right? I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, definitely. Maybe it's not a link, but it's a mention, it's a citation. So yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we have very few minutes left, so I'm gonna take very few five questions. So if you have any questions, please drop it now. We are already almost 1.5 hours. So here is
A-
another question.
And I'm also happy to jump on the thread later and answer those questions. So if they won't fit this webinar, leave these questions or mail me these questions. I will answer them for sure.
Okay, sure. I will coordinate that. So currently, we are inside of live inside of private Facebook group, and then okay, there are lots of stuff happening. So you are not added to the group X.
Mhm.
You are live, but you are not added to the group X.
Yeah.
So I will definitely add you later, so you can answer some of the questions
Mhm.
yourself. All right. So here's one more. Any insight to rank homepage? I did competitor audits, made progressive changes, but is still at same position. Anything you would like to suggest?
Yes. Put your main focus keyword in your title and image alt of the logo of the website. If you
Okay.
don't have it, it will be the strongest internal link with the proper anchor from every single page you have. So it's really a booster for the homepage.
Okay. Just a second. Okay, so here's one of the question for you. Why Surfer is so expensive with respect to our location? So,
Yeah,
okay.
we started
So,
in. Yeah, I would like to answer. I would like to
okay.
answer. So we started in Poland, and Polish zloty, which is currency here, is
Mhm,
like 1 to 4 to the US dollar.
mhm,
So um, our people in Poland also struggle with the same situation as you do, guys. And
mhm,
in general, we try to adjust the pricing to be uh, like not too cheap for the US market and
mhm,
not too high for other markets like Polish market. And that's really tricky because when we lower the prices, I mean, we started low with the prices for the US market. They told us it is too cheap to work, right? They told us this. It cannot work. No way, because ClearScope is 300 USD and you are 50, and there's no chance it's working the same way, but it is, and it's even better. So it's about the positioning the tool on the market. That's the thing. So we had to put the prices not too low. Like even today I receive questions why it is so cheap from the US guys, and it's
mhm.
really hard to make everyone happy about the pricing. So yeah, I know it may be expensive in different areas, but they still call us cheap in the US.
Okay, sure. Like I can still take two more questions if you
Go
have.
ahead. Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
like no, no, no. I asked that for the audience because like I am out of questions
Oh,
here. So yeah, now they are thanking us, like thanking you for coming to this live and sharing all this valuable information. Thanks, Ramba Budai and Michael, for this wonderful opportunity. It was really worth the time. So, and then you got a really good setup. That's a compliment for you. Thanks for
thank
your
you.
valuable information. And then, okay, one question is coming.
Yeah, that's really a pleasure for me to be here. Really, I always enjoy opportunities to share whatever I have to share, and if you like it, that's even better.
Okay, if I have missed any questions from the top, because like a Facebook sometimes doesn't show few comments. So if anyone's question is not answered, please copy and paste. So we'd like to answer them as well. And then okay, here's so our request. There is a request. Give some huge discount while we purchase from Nepal. I don't know, like Michael is in the position to make that decision, but yeah, he will definitely talk with his team on that.
Yeah, yeah. That's tricky, really, for those SaaS businesses. because it's kind of unfair for the other guys. And if we do so for Nepal, then we probably have to do the same for Poland and the other country. And how to decide if Nepal should have a bigger discount than Poland and so on. And this is just too hard to handle. But I will try to figure something out for you guys. I'm telling you, I will try to figure something out.
Okay, sure,
You got my
definitely.
word.
Okay, so currently you can try Surfer at $1 trial for 7 days. I think
Mhm.
they're like that. So okay, give it a try, and then like if it works for 7 days, maybe if you are making some money out of it, you can if definitely spend or invest on that. My
So,
team uses Surfer, and then already some of the SEOs guys in Nepal are using Surfer, and they are loving it.
guys, I think I can do something about this 7 days trial. I think I can make it longer. So hold your horses with the payments. I will talk to the team and try to figure out something better for the start.
Okay, so
That's what what I can do for sure.
a request from 36 people that are currently watching us live. So yeah, they are. And then okay, so people are already started missing you. Actually, now we are coming to end of the live. So when will you come again? That's the question.
Okay. Whenever you need me, really, I'm really happy to join the community. Make sure to add me to the group, and I can tell you that whenever we have something released that is worth talking about, I'm happy to join you and show you directly. It will be a like exclusive walkthrough for you guys. So yeah, definitely when I have something, I will reach out that we have something to share, and I will do it along with the Q&A section for the webinar. And what else I can add? Hmm,
Sure. So like I have two questions left, and then like I'm not taking any more questions for tonight. And then if you have like you can comment it, and then maybe Michael will answer them later
I
when you
will
have.
do. Like
So
I will do like I think on Monday if that's okay with you guys.
okay, sure, definitely. So here's quick some questions left. So which one do you think is the best way for ranking top? So creating good content or backlinks or social signals?
All of these guys.
All of these.
Synergy is the way to go because only backlinks will cost you a lot of money because without good content, you will have hard times maintaining rankings. Only content will take you a year or 2 years or 3 years by gaining that authority. So, only a combination of all of these social and backlink signals with a good content will give you the best results in the shortest period of time. And another tip from me is that when you are building backlinks, and if it's a guest post, optimize it with the content editor because this way it will rank higher. And if a guest post is ranking high on a keyword that is relevant to the keyword you are trying to boost with that guest post, that's the best situation. So don't spend like $300 on 3 guest posts and none of them is optimized, 300 words long, blah blah blah. Make one guest post that is perfectly optimized, great content, and this way you can like even achieve 2 search results in the top 10 from separate domains, but covering your carrying your information, so your link, your angle on that topic, and so on. And another tip, if you don't have strong enough domain to rank for a keyword, you can use a guest post to rank for that keyword and then try to drive traffic this way. And if there is will be no traffic driven this way, you will at least get the best backlink for that keyword. So definitely do it.
Okay, so last question for tonight. Please throw some interlinking strategies to rank homepage.
Yeah, so the one I mentioned is a great one to use the title, but contextual link from the first or second paragraph, and in general from above the fold, not from menu but from the content, from the pages that are relevant to the homepage, definitely will do the job using exact matching anchor. I would even try using only exacts for the homepage. You have a bunch of keywords, probably like 20 keywords targeting by the homepage, and use all of these keywords to be an anchors from as many pages as possible. And definitely your homepage should be the most frequently internally linked page on the whole domain. Make sure you have this proper ratio. Check it in Search Console. Homepage should be on the top.
Okay, so our Q&A session stops here, but again, I really don't want to discourage you guys. So I'm still getting a lot of questions, and then please keep on continuing dropping more questions, because I will let Michael to our community, and then he will answer these questions on Monday. But
Oh,
make
yes.
sure those questions relevant, and then if you ask great questions, you will receive great answers. So keep that in mind when asking the question. So that's it for Q&A session. So, Michael, anything else you want to say personally? Because, okay, Michael was mentioning about this. They have launched this content editor 2.0, and then it's out
Oh,
in product.
yes. Yes. Definitely go to producthunt.com and vote for it. It's on the top of the list, but we need some support. Haha.
Do your love to, like, okay, he's gonna do a lot for you guys. He's gonna extend the trial for you guys, especially he's gonna talk with him. So his product is on Product Hunt. Go and show some love. I will paste the link after this live, and then you can click the link and then say something nice and give nice review on the Product Hunt. That will definitely help Michael to and
Oh,
Michael
yes,
and
that would be great.
okay. So that's it for tonight's live, and then anything else, Michael? Otherwise,
Yeah, I
I'm gonna.
just want to thank you guys. Really appreciate you being with me for so long. So many people, like I'm amazed with your community. Really great questions, and I'm really happy to be here. So thanks again, and speak to you soon. I will definitely join the group and answer those questions.
Okay, sure. So they like to welcome you to Nepal for some trekkings whenever you have
Oh,
vacation, and then this is such a valuable session ever I ever was. So thank Michael. Like there's some personal thanks to you. Okay, thank you guys for staying with us for 1.5 hours, and then like we're able to deliver some of the valuable. So I hope you're gonna use it, and then whenever you see some results out of these tips and tricks, please share that, tag Michael, and then that would be the value that you can give back to Michael, so he can use some that as a case studies for himself as well. And if you do great job with Surfer, like he published some of the case study on his own website as well. So that's
thanks
it for
again.
now.